Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie. As you may know, there's a stupid, harmful thing that some people do to mess with streamers. They call in a bomb threat where they live and make police officers invade their house. It's called swatting and it sucks. Of course, this video is by no means supporting swatting. It's a terrible thing to do and it has awful consequences for both the person making the call and the person being swatted. Hopefully this video will make the potential swatters out there think twice before possibly ruining their life or that of another human being. If you enjoy this video, let us know by throwing us a thumbs up down below, and if you want more, check out our video on the top 10 video game characters that can destroy the world. But before you do that, get ready, it's time for the top 10 gamers swatted live on Twitch. Number 10. Kutra. One day when the creatures were streaming in their office, some dummy called in a false report that hostages were being held in the building. SWAT members came in, handcuffed Kutra, and interrogated him before determining that no hostages were being held. Thankfully, everyone was fine, but it would have been a horrific experience. It kinda surprises me that so many of the officers seem to not be aware of the swatting phenomenon. If I was called into a hostage situation and just saw a dude playing video games, I might think I'd been tricked. But then again, it's an incredibly high stakes job, so I understand sticking to protocol to play it safe. Number 9. Gross gore. Okay, here are some cops that get it a lot more. Although it helps that they seem to just be UK officers and not a SWAT team. Anyway, Gross Gore was swatted one day as someone claimed he had killed his whole family. But this time, rather than getting smashed to the ground, they just knocked politely, he brought them in, and he explained the situation while he continued his game of League of Legends. It was still an awful thing to do to swat the guy, but this is definitely one of the better outcomes on this list since nobody was hurt or even touched. Well, except his MMR. It got hurt because he lost the game. But he was a little distracted. Number 8. Nothing. Nothing was playing some Counter-Strike when, as you've probably guessed, his place was raided by police officers with firearms. Now, I hate to make light of this, but it's just a bit hilarious that one of the people he's chatting with goes, "Where's the bomb?"
Where's the bomb?
I'm holding mini peek. Bomb's down by T-Red.
Daps is a ramp player.
Right before you see an officer look under the bed. It looks like a bad lip reading. Thankfully, they search his room and eventually let him go when everything is explained. And in the end, everything worked out because the swatter was eventually caught and is apparently facing 5 years in prison for terrorism charges. Won't say his name, not giving him fame, but I guess the counter-terrorists win. Come on, we were all thinking it. Number 7. Mova. Mova was streaming one day, just chatting with fans, when one played a funny joke. Just kidding, it was stupid, infantile, and dangerous. She started noticing how many sirens were around, and it turned out they were there for her when a bunch of police officers showed up at her door. And thankfully, the officers were super understanding, even waving hi to the camera, although it probably helps that she, looks like that. Wow, the comments on that video are creepy. Number 6. Summit 1G. This one's a bit different from the others because he wasn't swatted at his home, but rather outside at a park. Streamer Summit 1G was streaming some Pokemon Go when cops started yelling at him to put his hands up. There are several tense moments as he's ordered to back up to the officers, but everyone ends up okay. Apparently someone had donated a few minutes previously and left a message saying, "Watch the stream in 5 minutes," and they called in a threat. Do I have to remind you that he might have been shot? I don't get people. Number 5. I'm gorgeous. Yeah, it's time for another female streamer, but this time she didn't get quite so lucky with the officers who arrived. This time she left the room and was subdued off screen. And don't worry, she was okay. Then some officers search her house, obviously finding nothing since it was just a stupid joke. It's totally freaky, the only solace being hearing the cops, who barely understand what streaming is, try to make sense of what she told them. Number 4. Trick 2G. Here's one that's kind of breaking the rules of the list, but I think it's an important PSA. Trick 2G was supposedly swatted during his 800k celebration stream, but later it was revealed that he had just gotten actors to pretend to be cops, which many thought was pretty damn insensitive given what has actually happened, and I'm not super surprised. Now, this might just be the benefit of hindsight, but holy cow is his acting atrocious. Listen to this. But anyway, he wasn't swatted, so everything's okay, right? Nope. Twitch found out and banned him. Just for a day, but still. If you think fake swatting yourself is a great way to gain followers, maybe think again if you don't want to be banned. And if you're not as famous as Trick, you might not get quite so short a ban. Number 3. Caleb Hart 42. Here's one for the ladies, or anyone who's into shirtless dudes with big muscles. This must have been before they stopped guys from streaming with no shirt. Anyway, this is one of the more chill swats since he goes to the door and eventually comes back in to explain his job. Thankfully, this tends to be the case when it isn't an actual SWAT team being called, which is definitely nice. Plus, it definitely helps that they have all the video evidence from their stream that they weren't, planting bombs and killing people at the time. At least, not in real life. The biggest bummer is that he was over an hour into his Mega Man speedrun. Well, maybe that's the second biggest bummer. Number 2. White Boy 7th Street. Alexander Walker was streaming on Twitch when he had some unwelcome guests due to one particular jerkbag troll. He left the room for some time, then a K9 unit was seen searching it. While nobody was hurt, they actually did find his stash of marijuana, which led to him being arrested for drug possession. However, due to the circumstances, prosecutors dropped the charges. Side note, I definitely thought his name was pronounced White Boy 7th for way too long. I'm a bit ashamed. Number 1. Joshua Peters. One of the most famous incidents involves RuneScape streamer Joshua Peters. Peters was streaming when he suddenly had to leave as his mother had informed him that police officers were in the house. Peters, who was an Air Force veteran of all things, returned to the stream understandably emotional and explained that police had just pointed a gun at his 10-year-old brother who had answered the door.
I had police point a gun at my little brothers. Because of you.
Guys, he could have died. Just imagine you swatted someone and their 10-year-old brother was killed. This is not a joke. I feel like a broken record, but it's true. That's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, even if it was kind of a downer video. If you did, please smack that thumbs up button and subscribe to Top 10 Gaming for more videos. Let me know in the comments what you think of the whole swatting situation. Hopefully it didn't seem like I was making light of these things. I'm hoping that my somewhat energetic presentation isn't confused with approval. Also check out our Top 10 alternate versions playlist if you're looking to keep the binge going. Until next time, I'm Ron Mackenzie Lavergy with Top 10 Gaming. Later, gamers.